let's get comfy. Hey everyone. Yongsung-bin. No, I wish I was friends with him. Let me just finished Physical Asia. I got it late in the game, right? It's already aired. But it took time. It took time to get to. Anyways, yeah. Hey everyone, WanderingGhost here. Yeah, it's been a minute. But things are good. Still in Japan. Did make some big life choices, and we're just gonna leap into the dark and see what happens. But hey, that's kind of just more or less how it goes, right? Never ready. Just gotta wing it. But yeah. So, anyways, life hasn't been so bad, right? Hasn't, came into here with like an idea of how things were going to go in Japan, and it's been a year and a half, right? It's currently December right now, but it's been like a year and a half, right? Early December, by the way, 2025. Just like anything, no plans survive first contact, right? So gotta adjust, gotta adapt, and just go with it and live your life. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the most part. There are things I've wanted to do, right? I wanted to travel much more, but just at the job I'm working at, okane ga aranai, right? I rolled that for some reason, but it's not gonna happen, right? And that's okay, because the experience still been pretty good. Let's touch on a few things. So our Japanese level, in terms of like fitness, and I guess, I don't want to say like my overall headspace. We'll say like creative projects and stuff like that, and then maybe my headspace, right? All right. So first thing, right? I already forgot what it was. What did I just talk about a few seconds ago? Oh yeah, Japanese. So yeah. 俺の日本語はめっちゃ下手。めちゃめちゃめちゃ。So I took the JLPT for the N3. Right, we were just more or less doing like a recon sesh, so we were just gonna hop in there and just see what happens. And yeah, we definitely probably failed it. Has 3 components, right? It's got like a kind of like a kanji component, then it's got like a writing component, and it's like a kanji component. It's multiple choice. First off, everything's multiple choice. Second component is reading. There's a lot of like reading, right? From like paragraphs to like a letter or something like that, right? Email. And then the third component is listening. Well, the first part, right? There was a lot of familiarity, and I had only been studying not that much. To be honest, we're just too busy, way too busy with life. But I've been studying a little bit, like in the month leading up to it, like month and a half leading up to it, right? With as much, it's like, yeah, there was a lot of things going on at work, right, that I had to take care of, and I was given like a good amount of additional responsibilities to kind of attend to, and that's okay because those were priorities, right? The JLPT was secondary, especially since it was more or less just going to be like a recon session anyways. Yeah. But yeah, with that said, first part, familiar. I saw a lot of kanji that I basically knew like the meaning of, right? I just couldn't fully be like, what? Maybe this is it, maybe that is it, right? Some of the bunpo, the grammar, we were kind of lacking a little bit though. I will say that. Yeah, so we're gonna have to double up on that, but I did feel the best there, right? Second part, reading. Holy crap. I think by the time I had finished going through everything. I had like 5 minutes to spare to go back through. So we are a slow reader, let alone I didn't really understand what was happening. I was just kind of like gauging based on like what I knew, right? Based on like some N5 and N4 kanji and the N3 kanji that I could remember that I studied, because I think I only hit like 40 like N3 kanji, maybe. Yeah, I was looking at the JLTP like page, website, whatever, like the English one, where it's like, oh hey, and you could like, there's a drop down menu. If you kind of click at the top for N3, it's like, oh, grammar list, kanji list, right, honyada honyada. And then I was going through and I only did the first pages of like each, and I thought I was like feeling pretty good until it was like, I was like, oh wait a second, there's a second page, and this is like 2 weeks away from the freaking JLPT, and I'm like, this is now a suicide mission that we're doing. But that's okay. You gotta go in with honor. Yeah. So, yeah, we went into that, and I'm like, but we fought. We fought hard with the kanji we did have and the grammar we did have, right? But we definitely failed the reading section, right? If we did somehow pass the writing or the first bit, great. There's no way we were passing the second bit, right? And I gotta get way faster at reading, so I'm gonna have to practice reading much more, right? Looking at all the little shops and everything, kind of while I'm just going through like Namba, Umeda, Tennoji, things like that in Osaka. It's not gonna help, right? You just gotta like pick up a newspaper and go. You gotta read the books, right? Yeah. Listening. Oh, sheesh. Yeah, so listening. Not that great, right? These ears for listening were about as good as these ears were freaking a Inosuke, right? So it wasn't doing so well. I took what was familiar, I put down little memos, and I just made a vibe check on everything I could. So that's that. Yeah. Alrighty, so on to the next bit, right? Japanese needs work. But we're gonna have a plan of action. Wait. So we have a plan of action, right? So we have a notebook that we're gonna start again, and we're gonna kind of come at this in a little bit more of a structured way, right? That will be developed a little bit later, and I'll probably go into that if I ever go into it. We'll see. We better study, but we started studying like the day after, because I was a sore loser for some reason, even though I knew it wasn't gonna work, or it wasn't gonna go well. Also, traffic is terrible, by the way. Anyone who's going to JLPT proficiency test, get there early and jet out the door as soon as you can. I got stuck, right, waiting for a bus. Regardless, yeah. Let's just move on. Let's move on. So, on to like the more like physical aspect. Running out of time on this. We're gonna have to delete some stuff. Yeah, physical aspect. I was hoping to be in crazy shape. Turns out coming to Japan was the worst thing I could ever do for my shape. Yeah, food's just way too convenient. Everything's too convenient and delicious, and I just eat it all the time because it's cheaper. Well, relative, right? It's good on my paycheck, but yeah, I don't have access to a gym, and I've been too busy, so I end up at like kickboxing, which I've been taking once a week, right? I end up at like kickboxing for like a cardio class or like a... basic class once a week. That's not even enough to be like, yeah, I kickbox, right? Nah, we're just that random dude that shows up and everyone's surprised to see him. Yeah. Another terrible thing that occurred physically, maybe, is that, how do I put it? A friend of mine had decided to re-sign up for the Osaka Marathon, because he wasn't able to finish last year, right? So he wanted to hit it hard again this year. And I was kind of mad No, I wasn't mad. I was kind of jealous someone else was doing like a huge physical feat and I wasn't. That was like kind of in like my friend space. Friend space, jeez. Yeah, so, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna do it too then. I hate running. Right now, I think we're probably gonna, at our pace, we're probably gonna hit like 5 hours, 30 minutes maybe. And it is horrible. I'm going once a week for a run. We gotta bump those numbers up because that marathon, the Osaka Marathon, is in like late February. So we're gonna get crushed. And I'm about to go on vacation. But yeah. Yeah, anyways. There is no anyways to it. Look, dude. Look. As you could see from this, I rep Gryffindor, right? So it means I should be like a little bit more physically active. But no. We're over here because, well, honestly, it's shot because I was running, then I was coaching yesterday. And I will say I was coaching yesterday. Yeah. And I was doing a volleyball yesterday. Yeah. I also do volleyball. Little known fact. I'm not like a great player or anything. Dude, I'm like, ever since I've been squatting heavy weights and deadlifting, I've gone from like 5'7" to 5'6". So there ain't no way we're like getting up there. Yeah, we lost like that 170 centimeter like mark in terms of height. And now I'm just a thick boy, right? I'm like a heavyweight in my freaking kickboxing club. So I can't jump that well. But yeah, I do enjoy, playing, right? And a beautiful thing happened yesterday, and it felt like a proud, like father moment almost. So I volunteer at with this small volleyball team. Has barely any kids in it, but yeah, I volunteer with this team, and then it was just me kind of like more or less coaching by myself, right? And using whatever Japanese and English I can, right? They kind of had like a, they had like a menu they were following anyways. They like to call it a menu. Yeah, but made some alterations and decided we're going to do 2v2s at the end. And once we went into serving practice, I was like doing my jump serves and freaking, I'm not going to say your name, but one of my kids, she was starting to try to mimic my jump serves, and she's like crazy athletic. And then, and it wasn't going well. I'm like, look, all right, this is what you need to do, right? I'm like trying to show him, like, you need to get like the top spin, so you need to throw it, but you got to go high, right? You got to go high, and it's got to go in front of you at this point, right? Think of like more or less you're like doing a back attack, honyara, right? Baku, right? こっち、koko, contact. Anyways, yeah. Clearly we see why I failed the N3. But she ended up getting it after like 10 tries, and I was like, I wanted to tear up. I felt so proud. I feel proud talking about it now, and this is like one of my greatest highlights is like I had taught like this kid of mine how to jump serve, and now they have like this tool, this asset to themselves. They have like this tool in their tool bag that they can now use for like the rest of their time they're ever going to play volleyball. And hey, still, oh dang, yeah, I didn't delete that much stuff. Turns out we ran out of footage or space. We gotta delete a lot of things, jeez. Let's waste time. So yeah, that was a beautiful moment, a very proud moment. Yeah, so right now we're only doing like a few physical things. We're training for a marathon, which we need to pump up those numbers, right? Or else we're gonna die. We probably will die. We're helping, with volleyball. And I do tend to like hop in and kind of like help run drills, or do like 2v2s, or if there's like some other people, like one of the, like someone from like a college team or something's coming over to help play, I'll play with them. Clearly we're not at those levels, but we throw down, right? I'm willing to die for the ball, even if it hurts and it ruins my body, apparently. Because my calf is... ugh. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, so much for the Filipino genetics on that. Yeah. And, alright. Marathon. So, running now. Volleyball. And me just being trash at kickboxing. But we can do more, right? Gosh, I wish I was lifting weights. I miss it. I miss ego lifting. Jeez, probably why we're like this. Yeah. And watching Physical Asia, I suck. That's how I feel. Can't I just go to the Philippines and then like train really hard for the rest of my life and just represent like the Philippines? Crap. Yeah, they don't need like another like 5'6" dude. They need like a 6'5" dude. That's what they do need. Yeah. So anyways, creative space. We were doing very well in the summer. I had been writing these short stories following like this character named Henrik, which is in this huge kind of world I've been developing over the last like few years, right? And then we just kind of hit a point, work picked up a lot and it got very busy and like, crap. But I've been working on some other stuff. Also with a friend of mine, we made a weird game where you're like a salmon and you're trying to like go upstream and flop around and stuff like that and not die. But yeah, that was on Godot 4. I do want to do more projects on that. You know, I'm just continually trying to expand myself, and maybe I could do this more, but clearly we're not consistent with that. So it's all about building consistency, right? I want to be as reliable as Yoon Sung Bin. So yeah. Headspace now. Let's talk about the headspace. This is probably the harder thing to talk about, so I'm gonna clear up space for the headspace talk. One sec. Oh, dang, we cleared up a lot of memory. Okay, we got like 29 minutes to roll. It's not gonna be that long, trust me. I don't want to freaking talk about myself this much, but yeah. So headspace. How's your headspace? My headspace? You know, it's more dangerous, right? It's always okay, I think. No matter what, I could get through more or less anything. So far I have, right? From living life to being born into this... I was born into this world, just like you. I'm just gonna incorrectly quote Karl Franz. But yeah. Anyways, lore drop there. Not really a lore drop, actually. That's just a reference. But yeah, how do I start this? I feel so nervous putting myself out here. But yeah, things are okay. And one day, we're gonna have to hop off the train and stop riding this train. Right? That doesn't make sense. Look, at some point I'm gonna have to leave Japan. Unfortunately so. Right? Things back in my own home country are not the greatest at this time. And I'll have to give up these beloved kotatsus, which you guys are currently sitting on right now. And I'll have to buy them later, and it'll be incredibly more expensive. Unless I could ship this. Maybe. So, we'll see. Yeah, Japan's been a treat, and I feel like, it may not seem like it, but I've definitely matured a lot here, given, you know, this current job I'm at, and these experiences, and I'm just continuing to grow as a person, and we've more or less grown out of this small little chapter we've been on, and we're going to move into another one. Now, if that next chapter means I'm in the States or somewhere else or here, then so be it, right? We'll get through it. But it has been a wonderful experience here so far, just like how it's been in like most of the places I've been to. There have been some bad experiences in some particular countries. But yeah, and there's so much to do and not enough time, definitely not enough money. But I just can't achieve all these other things I want to do without taking a risk. And now that we've made the decision, we have to follow through with our action in order to more or less create the future that I really want to see for myself. So we are gambling with our life, and you know, anything worth doing is just worth overdoing, right? But yeah, so my headspace right now is pretty good. And there's a lot of these things where I'm hitting those last moments kind of stuff, right? Because I'm not the only one that's going to be coming and going, right? This is just life. And the more you travel and the more you live in other places, the more you're going to be missing someone else in another place. There's nothing you can do about that, right? I miss like my closest friend who's in New Mexico right now all the time. And I wish I could share a lot of these moments with him. But you know, we're on very different paths right now, right? And one day they will join again. So, you know, there's just a lot of, you know, things I really want in my life, and I just need to take the steps to get after them. Because we've just been sailing, right? We've been wandering. We're just a wandering ghost. And we haven't had a clear direction, right? And I think part of the problem is I've really just been I've been like hoping and churning on some not churning some of those options have narrowed now, right? And it's not to do with age, it's more just like political climates, and you know, things just don't match up, and I don't think those are like the kind of careers I want to get into. And I kind of just want to gamble on myself now and see what I can make for myself, right? Instead of just looking for it in something else, right? I just need to make the world I need to see. So, yeah. How else am I going to be on like some, I don't know, I'm going to go back to Yoon Sung Bin. How else am I supposed to be in like a workout montage next to Yoon Sung Bin, right? Or Amadi, or Eddie, or anyone from the Mongolian team? Holy crap. I'm not even saying spoilers here, but I love a lot of history. I'm a big military history nerd, and I love that Mongolia came out to play, and that they got such good representation with their team, and it was beautiful, just like how all the teams were. Yeah. Am I going on a tangent? I guess I am. Yeah. Okay, let's wrap that up. So, thank you for listening, right? Thank you to anyone who's somehow listening to this from here or whenever I've long passed and the sun has obliterated itself. No, I'm kidding. But, yeah, no, thank you for sharing your time, right? Because it's very valuable, and I'm trying to figure out what to do with my time while I'm here. Yeah, so right now we got to work on the Japanese, because I do want to hit the JLPT again in the summer, and you and I, other people that might be taking the N3, right? We're gonna pass it. Also, anyone else that's taking the other levels, right? As long as we get after it. So, yeah, we gotta hit it up. 2, I gotta get in shape. So we've been gradually like upping the pace, right? I'm sitting at like 86 kilograms. This is the heaviest I've ever been in my life. It's crazy. And it goes to show it, I can't jump around in volleyball like I used to. Let alone when I run, it hurts. Well, it's been hurting since, a notorious career that I was doing a long time ago. Yeah, anyways, yeah. And I also, I'm gonna use the term they put in the subtitles for like physical Asia, but I gas out in like kickboxing much earlier than I should be. Yeah. Yeah. Creative works. Dude, I need to publish a book. This year is about to be over and I haven't published anything and I haven't edited anything on this. Sorry if you're hearing these terms, but I will fall into dark humor and stuff like that, so just heads up. Yeah, a lot of creative things we gotta do. Too many. This thing does not turn off. It ruins my sleep. Okay, last but not least, our headspace. Itsumo daijoubu. Itsumo daijoubu. It's always good. It's always okay. So, no matter what, you're never ready. Just gotta wing it. So, mata ne.